Hey guys, so I'm Cruz. We're halfway through Apple's release cycle. When I mean release cycle, I'm referring to when they release their newest flagship iPhones and the Apple Watches, of course, which is in September. We're in February, getting close to March, so that's about 6 months from now. So I wanted to take a look at our current flagship iPhone, that being the iPhone 14 Pro Max. Now, the iPhone 14 Pro Max is the most expensive iPhone you can buy at the moment, starting at $1099 or $1,100 in other words, plus tax. I ordered this in the 512 configuration, but you obviously got 128, 256, 512, and you can go all the way up to a terabyte if you need so. I personally got the 512 as a terabyte is probably more than I would use at the moment. And my 256, well, it's completely filled now. I have to erase pictures constantly in videos, so that's why I decided to go for this. The 14 Pro Max, this is a space black, but we got space black, silver, gold, and the all new deep purple, which is like Apple's featured color. As when you go to the website, that's the phone, that's the color they're most likely going to show in the 14 Pro or Pro Max. Okay, so taking a look at our box, well, we have iPhone 14 Pro Max, designed by Apple in California, assembled in China, includes the iPhone 14 Pro Max and USB-C to Lightning cable, power adapter, headphones, and power adapter and headphones sold separately, as Apple doesn't sell that with the iPhone anymore. On the bottom, well, we have iPhone 14 Pro Max, space black, 512 gigabytes, our serial number, IMEI. At the very bottom, Apple, Apple Incorporated, 1 Apple Parkway, Cupertino, California, our zip code, USA, apple.com. I'm supposing that's copyright, 2022, Apple Incorporated, all rights reserved. Taking a look at just the box, well, we notice that we don't have a notch anymore. Now we have a pill cutout, as I think as everyone in the tech community has been calling it, as it looks literally like a pill compared to our well-known notch over the years. Now let's actually take a look at this. Okay, so I do have to admit I got a bit excited for this video, and I opened the 14 Pro Max. I haven't set it up. I just opened it and I took a look at it, but other than that, it's brand new. But I'm not gonna take the bottom peel off. Okay, so we have the 14 Pro Max here, space black. Okay, here's the phone itself. I had to say this color compared to the current graphite that I currently have, it's much darker. It's much cleaner looking in my opinion. It's better. In other words, the graphite is great. The graphite's great. I like this color. I just the space black. It's not space gray. The space black on the 14 Pro Max. Well, we can notice the color difference of these two phones, as the 14 Pro Max is much darker. And also another difference on the outside is the camera. The camera, well, Apple just makes the camera on these phones larger and larger, it seems like, and well, that's because it is. The good thing though with that larger camera is that our main camera is now a 48 megapixel main camera, and then we obviously got our 12 megapixel ultra wide and our telephoto. We obviously got our sticker here that has been on the iPhone, I believe 12. I remember back in the day, you could still use the phone with plastic, I had my phone with plastic for like a whole year. Okay, so that's the phone. Now in the box, well, we got our charger and a little sticker. Or at least I believe that's our sticker. Designed by Apple in California. Okay, so the first thing we come up to is you no longer need a physical SIM card. Activate your eSIM during iPhone setup. For more information, well, go to Apple's website. And well, if you didn't know already, the iPhone 14 Pro Max or the 14 lineup in general, we don't have, in the US at least, we don't have physical SIM cards anymore, which can be a bit inconvenient if you like traveling. But other than that, it's I don't think it's a big deal. Okay, so here we got our safety, iPhone, and our Apple sticker, our single Apple sticker. We got our charger, a USB-C to Lightning adapter, power cable, I should say. I've always been the type of person to never open up the accessories. It's like the iPhone 8. I've always used my old chargers. On my iPhone 8, I never opened up the headphones or the charger for that matter. Okay. So closing that back up, going into the phone itself. Okay. Wow. That is clean. Okay. So okay, so from this angle we can kind of see the pill out, the pill cut out, and unlike, well, in the box, you have like this little space. I'm not too sure if it's visible on the camera, but you have this little space where there's nothing there. It's actual screen. Okay, let's turn it on. Thanks to, well, that pill cutout now, well, we have dynamic island, which comes really handy when you're playing music or for like gestures such as timers. Okay, we got our Apple logo, and then, well, like I said, okay, let me set this up. Language. United States. Password. Okay. I'm just gonna skip this. Okay. So we got through the setup, and I didn't set up my iCloud account, but I have set up the iPhone. Okay. We got our default wallpaper in the back, and obviously now we have that dynamic island as I was talking about. Okay. General, well, we got iPhone. It's on iOS 16.2. The iPhone 14 Pro Max serial number with the gigabyte configuration unlocked. Okay, so although this has the ability to take pictures in 40, well, it can take pictures in 48 megapixels. The thing is that you actually need to go activate it in the settings because it doesn't come like that by default. You actually got to go to settings. Okay, settings. Gotta go to camera, and then I believe it is so more. Okay, formats. and then Apple Pro Raw. This will, well, we have the ability to take not in 48 megapixels as it says there. Oops, turned it off. See, 48 megapixels or 12 megapixels. And now going into the timer. Okay, so we can click here, 15-minute timers is the default start. And now we have it on the top. There we go. Okay, so some basic information on the iPhone 14 Pro Max. Well, obviously we talked about storage configurations on it. The price point was the base price point. We don't have a physical SIM anymore, but now on it, when you go outside, well, you have a max peak brightness of 2000 nits outside, which can be really helpful when you're out in direct sunlight and you need that extra brightness. Now indoors it's capped at 1000 nits, but I think that's normal. We have another thing that I forgot to mention. One of the most important things on the 14 Pro and 14 Pro Max is the fact that we have an always on display. It never turns off. We can turn this off in the settings, which kind of defeats the purpose, but the ability is there if you want to. So for that, we just go to settings again, and then we go to display. Where is it? Okay, Face ID, Control Center. Wait, let me see. Okay, accessibility. Wait, give me a minute. Okay, here. We got general, control center, and then it's display and brightness. So we obviously got our here a light and a dark, text size, bold, true tone, and then here we have always on display enabled. We can turn this on, or we can turn it off, I should say, and we go like that, and then it's off. It defeats the purpose, but it's there if you want to. And obviously, well, this is the 14 Pro and the 14 Pro Max. They're the only phones that actually received the chip upgrade. As the regular 14s, the 14 and 14 Plus, well, it's pretty much the chip of the iPhone 13 Pro Max, being the A15 Bionic chip. Although, to be honest, on like the daily tasks, you're really not going to notice the difference, as the A15 is still a really powerful chip. And well, for Apple's, it makes sense. Being Apple, it would make sense to use the same A15 Bionic on the iPhone 14 and 14 Plus. I believe that's all I have to say at the moment on the iPhone 14 Pro Max. And I really hope you guys enjoyed that quick review on the iPhone 14 Pro Max and some of the new features that it gets. With all of that said and done, I'll see you guys next time.